ANC has acknowledged that there are many people in South Africa who are restless with the lack of progress in the country. Whether it's poverty, unemployment, dysfunctional municipalities or the energy crisis, the impatience is real. And the party is seemingly eating humble pie, taking responsibility for its failures with a promise to do better going forward.
Access who never had electricity. After 1994, in villages as far as Limpopo, my mother, when she first got access to electricity, she said it's Nelson Mandela who brought electricity to me. But if later they can't have access to electricity because ESCOM is dysfunctional, they will be unforgiving to the ANC. We understand that. That's why we must fix the problems. Putting in place basic infrastructure, and later that infrastructure cannot be maintained. People have had access to certain things as a result of democracy, and later those things, not as a result of the apartheid state, as a result of democracy. When later we fail to get those things functioning, and their lives goes back, they have every right to blame us, and we accept the blame.
Much hope has been pinned on the promises proffered by the ANC over the past nearly 30 years. And while it would be wrong to suggest that there haven't been material improvements in the lives of the majority of South Africans over the years, the lack of delivery in many areas remains distinct and adversely impactful. And with so much political apathy among the South African electorate, political talk and promises are often construed as cheap. A big question mark hangs over whether the latest confirmed resolutions and policies of the ANC will be enough for the party to maintain or even make gains in its political dominance come 2024 and beyond. Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.
We are now joined via Zoom by Dr Fikile Vilakazi to unpack political developments in the ANC. A very good afternoon to you, Doctor. Thank you as always for joining us here on SABC News, and great to see you in the new year.
Good afternoon, Flo, and to viewers at home. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, let's start then by talking about the adoption of those ANC policies yesterday. What stood out for you? It was quite interesting to also see that there was a resolution that the party sort of came up with about the development of a monitoring and evaluation office, which will, keep their people in check, that will hold their members accountable. What did you think, particularly of that, but also what stood out for you?
Well, I mean, I thought that it was interesting that talking about a resolution around issues of monitoring and evaluation, which is not the first conversation that we're hearing it here at the, in the commissions as they're coming out. I mean, you would have known KwaZulu-Natal already thinking a lot about professionalizing local government, for example, where they could put in place something that they call local government a board. So when managers of municipalities are employed, they would probably function like what you see with the nurses and the doctors and the teachers, through a board that will hold them accountable, and they would also have those mechanisms in place that monitor delivery of services and the performance, of KPIs of managers of municipalities, to ensure that you have municipalities that deliver, and if they don't deliver, through the processes of the board, or of course through the MNE, or what you call the monitoring and evaluation processes of those boards. So it's quite interesting, Flo, and to viewers at home, because this is good speak, right? This is something that we are looking forward to hearing as communities, to say we need managers in municipalities and local councillors that can deliver, and if they don't deliver, then they need to be held accountable. That's something that we need to hear. But I mean, the reality is whether that kind of a resolution or an outcome of the conference will be made real for citizens on the ground. So that's the one thing I just wanted to point out. But KwaZulu-Natal has already started, and I think it will require a lot of restructuring of the South African Local Government Association itself, because SALGA has got a responsibility that should be about monitoring and evaluation of institutions of governments, particularly at local level. At national level and provincial level is a different story. I really think that, in terms of the outcomes of the resolution around issues of governance and legislative frameworks, they needed to think through the different spheres of government. And it's something for me that came out. They needed to think through thoroughly how to reorganize the different spheres in the relationship that they have. Because, for example, one of the things that we had in the reporting of the commissions was the issue of municipal demarcations flow.
Dr. Vilakazi, I'm going to have to pause you a little bit there, but I'm going to ask you to please just stand by with us. We're just crossing to our reporters. As you know, we do have a number of senior reporters out and about covering the ANC for us, but we'll continue our conversation with Dr. Fikile Vilakazi, who's a political analyst, of course, weighing in on the ANC goings on.